What is up, Transformers family? Welcome back to another episode of George Reviews. I am the 80s Transformer fan, and today on George Reviews, we'll be taking a look at more Generation 1 Transformers, 1984 Transformers. I was going to do a series on Transformers that should have been, and maybe I'll still do that. Maybe this is kind of roll me into that. Transformers that we should have gotten in 1984. Not should have been. With Transformers we should have gotten in 1984. Like reinforcements for the Decepticon ranks. How hard would it have been to keep repainting the Decepticons, because they were pretty much accepted as different characters, even though they was the exact same body type, exact same accessories and everything, just repaints. So I always wanted more Decepticons to flush out the ranks of my collection. And years ago, I want to say 2002, we got our first ever new Decepticon sporting the Generation 1 Secret Jet mold and body. We got Thunderstorm, who was featured in the background of the Generation 1 cartoon. I think actually they pulled him from the Dreamwave comics. I think Nova Storm was the cartoon guy, but they pulled this guy from the Generation 1 comics. Even though he was more yellow in the comics, this is pretty much now and later or Starburst orange color, candy orange. But I still like it. But they pulled this guy, and we got an extra guy. And I thought they would continue and give us more, but they did not. They stopped with this guy, which would have just kept selling, because everyone wanted more Secret Jets, the background guys that we saw. And we all poke fun and laugh at the Transformer Generation cartoon for its mistakes. And you see two Starscreams, or it'd be Thundercracker talking when it's supposed to be Starscream or Skywarp or whatever. But the animes, the reason why it was so many jet errors is because they were meant to draw in anonymous jets to fill out the ranks of the Decepticons. And on some shots, you would actually see like an off-color Thundercracker standing next to Thundercracker, off-color Skywarp. Same thing with Starscream. A lot of people, if you didn't have a really keen eye and you were too busy trying to poke fun or troll the cartoon, you would think that some of those shots were errors because there were so many errors, but they were not errors. They were extra Decepticons drawn in. Because I think in the 1984 it was only like 13 Decepticons, I think it was. And 9, is that 9? And I think it was like 27 Autobots. So they kind of tried to fill in the armies, because kids would have been like, well, they outnumber these guys. How come they not winning? So they flushed them out. And my customs, a lot of these guys are not complete. And some of these guys, when I say complete, I haven't finished customizing, because I've learned things as I've customized and as I've gone along. I picked up new tricks, and I will talk about those in the review. So up first is Sunstorm. Let's take a look at this guy. Again, this was the E-Hobby reissue of the Starscream mold, pulled from the Dreamwave comics. He was a clone of Starscream or Starscream's brother with like some type of solar power, and he was pretty badass, kicking butt. Went up against Omega Supreme, damaged Omega Supreme pretty good. And again, this inspired the rest of my guys. So I always wanted a green guy. I always wanted to make an Acid Storm. So then I made this guy right here. This was my first attempt at an Acid Storm. And again, I've learned some tricks as I went along, because this is my second attempt at an Acid Storm. But we'll get to that. I haven't dyed his launchers. First I had him with black launchers because it was easier, because it was kind of hard to get the dye to take to some of the jet bodies. And when you dye these figures, you can go from light to dark. You can't go from dark to light. Like if you start with a white body, like from this Generation 2 Starscream, you can pretty much get any color you want out. You can go yellow, brown, whatever color you want out of it. But this was my first attempt at a green, and he's evolved, and he's still evolving. Like I had like this little I can't remember the color of the green. I was just trying it, and I ordered the stickers from Repro Labels back in the day, just to try to see if the dye take. I didn't dye it long enough, and I didn't use the right color green, and I didn't use the right color dye. Now there are two different dyes that you can use to dye the plastic. The Rit Dye, and this is Kelly green. I like this color green, but this is the wrong type of dye. You have to get the dye more. The dye more goes into the plastic better, and you won't have to cook it long enough to get the dye in there and risk burning the plastic. And I'll talk about burning the plastic as this goes, but I wanted to show you the two different kinds. You want to buy, whatever color you get, you want to buy the dye more and not just this plain version. So moving on from that point, okay, so I dyed this guy and I was pretty happy with it. He had some fists. I think I used blue Starscream fists. This was a Starscream Generation 1 Starscream body. I don't know if you can tell. And then I just threw black launchers and black missiles on them because it was easiest. Thrust missiles, Skywarp launchers, it was easier and they were cheaper. And that's kind of how I had this guy rolling. And not too long ago I decided to upgrade him and I bought some more Starscream missiles off of eBay and try to upgrade. But I haven't dyed it yet. But I still stuck the stickers on him. You can see his green fist. These are some newer fists. Me trying out some more colors. And this is how it came out. This was my Acid Storm. But now now that I have a better one, his name is now Acid Rain. You can see the repro stickers put on him, green. And his body, like I say, this is kind of like a, I don't know, not even an army green. This still kind of cool. It'll look better once I redo these missiles. I got to get around to doing that. But yeah, this is Acid Storm. Now to his brother, Acid Rain. This is me learning a little bit more about the dye. You see I got more green going on. Same repro labels. I ordered 2 sheets back in the day just in case I jacked them up. And it came in handy because I learned how to do it better. This time I painted the chest. It's kind of got tattered because every time it falls over, it falls right on the chest and chips off the paint. This is a Generation 2 Starscream's body. And Generation 2 Starscream wings. These wings started off that darker gray, and you can see it doesn't quite match up as well. It's not as uniform as if you use a straight up Starscream body. The plastic is more uniform. But I wanted to try something different and just see how it took. And I actually like the different colors that it turned out to be. Now the key when you dye these figures, I want to try to do a tutorial on dyeing these figures. You have to clean the figure really good, because if you don't, once you dye it, you dye like the dirt and dust, and you can kind of see it, especially on the edges of certain parts of the toy. It really sticks out where you didn't get the dirt off. So you really got to clean these figures really good. And the launchers and missiles are Generation 1 Starscream launcher and missiles, and again with a better green dye. I wish I had this color dye when I did this part right here, but I didn't, and this is sort of how it came out. And later on, like as I learned, I took the Generation 2 Starscream fists and the G1 launchers and missiles and used the newer dye, the Rit Dye more, and it took better and it looks better. But he still looks cool just standing there in the background, especially with the little green stickers on him. Looks pretty good, and they look really cool in jet mode. I'm gonna get to that. Then I actually broke off these dang on things right here and had to dye some new ones so they don't quite match up right here. So but again, it still kind of comes together. It's unique. Anybody can spray paint a figure. You know, we've all done it. That's too easy. That's too easy. I wanted the dye to be in the plastic because, like I say, I dropped this figure, knocked it over, getting figures off shelves countless of times, and chipped the paint everywhere. But the dye remains. The dye stays in the figure, and it's in the plastic, and it's not going to come off unless you dig into the plastic. So I think dyeing the toy is much more cooler and much more creative than just, you know, spray paint a figure. But I did remove the die cast chest, took the pin out, and spray painted the die cast part right here because I believe it was like pink for the G2 Starscream, but I made it green or whatever. And I think this guy looks pretty cool, and the missiles and stuff still work if they worked in the first place. Like dyeing it doesn't hurt anything; they still work. So, and you see, and it's completely dyed. It's in the plastic. It's basically green plastic now, which is very cool. So moving on from Acid Rain and Acid Storm, I'm gonna come up to one of my customs a little bit more simple. This is Thundercracker, but his name is Thunderstorm, and basically I took some parts from Sunstorm. I took his white fist, his white tail fins, his white feet, and put them on a reissue Thundercracker to kind of get this guy, because again they had like similar guys in the background. I took the little launching tabs out of here and put them on here on this guy. And I remember getting this. I got Thundercracker and Skywarp reissue. A guy had it open used for like 30 bucks years ago. The Encore reissue 2-pack. And I had trouble disassembling the chest on this guy. Normally I take the pin, I knock the pin out of here, take the chest out, but I couldn't really get it out. And I just said screw it, and I taped it off and just spray painted, which was a mistake. I should have worked harder because I got like overspray on the toy now, which kind of sucks. Same thing with the white ring right here. This is white plastic, but the white ring I had to paint because I didn't have any more of the Sunstorm rings, and it kind of went over on me. But still cool to give an extra background guy. And again, nothing special. Thundercracker with some swapped out parts. And here's another early figure. I call this guy Burnback. I don't know, some type of jet term or whatever. Same thing here. I spray painted the chest. This is a Sunstorm, and I try orange is my favorite color. I try to get this guy a really dark orange to kind of make this guy pop a little bit more. So all I did, I got some orange dye, dyed it up and put some stickers on it. But because this guy's wing is different, the backup sticker sheet I got kind of didn't fit the striping, and I had to try to cover it up. Kind of looks a little bit funky, but still cool. And the first time I did it, I cooked the plastic too long and melted one of the launchers. And then when I went in and tried to do a second launcher I overdid it, and I underdid it, and my launchers don't quite match up or whatever. And then I forgot to remove the white ring to keep this part white, so that kind of sucked a little bit. But again, it still looks cool. I added the sticker sheets from Sunstorm and some Ripple sticker sheets right here to kind of cover that up. And then I cut the little pieces that weren't on the paper to cover the little top part up to where it kind of bled through. But I still think his color came out pretty cool. So yet another background Decepticon, and again, all the missiles and everything. If they launch before you dye them, they will still launch and work. I didn't take the spring out or anything like that. Next up, this guy is still a work in progress. Doesn't really have a name yet. He's just a background seeker. And this guy, he's gone through a few changes. I've done a few things with him. First, he didn't have all these white parts, but I went back. This is a G2 Starscream. And I remember you get a G2 Starscream complete for like 35 bucks. Now he's like 100 bucks. So I kind of running out of cannon fodder because I'm not paying that much to customize these guys. For some reason, the G2 Starscream bottom wings, this tab breaks off easy. So if you look on eBay and try to find these, most of these guys have one, or if not both of these little things broken off. And I think that's what's driving up the price, because I've broken off several of mine. And actually I broke off his, and now, because I had red tail wings on this guy, but I broke them off, and I'm going to dye these to match this. Eventually get around to it someday maybe. Anyway, that's why he looks like that. Here is the G2 Decepticon logo right there. And these are G2 wings. And again, I used the wrong dye. The red would have matched better if I had known the correct dye to use in the beginning, the dye more, but I used it like the standard red. And I just gave it the regular Starscream stripe down the side from Repro sticker sheet. Or I added a regular Starscream die-cast chest for this guy to kind of just bring out the red. Oh, and I actually dye. You can dye the plastic, the translucent parts as well. I dyed the chest red. Got a couple. Like, I have a few failed experiments. And I do want to say also, when if you're ever on eBay and you're buying like figures, like sometimes it's cool to check out the loose parts, broken toys, to add stuff to your figure. I think this one came with Ramjet, G2 Ramjet. But you can dye the canopies to these figures and create just different figures really easy without damaging the plastic. I've also dyed the missiles still on the tree. Comes out good. Got these red missiles, and these are more red than the thrust burgundy and the green short missiles or bombs or whatever they are. I've also done red. I think I had his fist red at first, and I switched to white. I don't know which one quite looks better, but I had red fist. So I got him to go back and forth, so I don't know. And I think I once had red feet on him, and I switched to white just to kind of make him look different. And I think this was going to be a girl, a female, or something like that. I don't know, but here she is. And I'm going to get these guys transformed in a little bit once I continue to run them down. All right, now this is my favorite one. I love how this thing came out. This purple one. His name is Rain, and it's because he's Purple Rain. I don't use Purple Rain, but because of the purple. I started off with a G2 Ramjet's body, and this is the G2 Ramjet mostly. So, but back to this guy. Then he has Skywarp's fist and his inner part. Like, this is the Skywarp's normal purple. I chose to leave it purple so I could have a few different purples going on. And this was the fist, but I dyed it darker. Just because I wanted like a darker purple going on. The launchers themselves are Starscream's launchers to get that purple color. I could have went darker, but I wanted to be careful and not damage the launchers because they're kind of thin and they will melt on you if you're not careful. You have to pay attention when you're dyeing these figures. Then the wings are a G2 Starscream wings, and I kind of didn't finish dyeing it right here, which is gray underneath. Yeah, I just peeped that out right now. Like, you got to make sure it's completely submerged in the dye. But just to give it a couple different purples so you can really truly see that this is a custom figure, not just a paint job. So I kind of went with that. And again, the G2 Starscream Rudders are hard to come by. I think these are the Rudders. So this is a G1 Starscream reissue Rudder. And you can see like the plastic kind of dyed differently on the two. But I had to make changes as necessary. And the feet are a G2 Starscream's feet. So this is a few figures put together. And I think it really looks nice. Then I dyed, not dyed, so I keep saying dyed. Then I painted the chest like a lighter purple. What was it, lilac or something like that. They kind of make them look different than the other guys because I went with the white chest or whatever and the green chest. I didn't want to go with a close purple. I made it look different on purpose. But this is my favorite one out of the bunch. And then I changed out the cockpits. I think the G2 Starscream, I think, comes with a purple cockpit. I can't remember. I'll slap a picture on the screen. But I changed out the cockpit. I changed out the cockpit on a lot of guys, like the Thundercracker. To make him not look so much like Thundercracker, I gave him the Sunstorm reissue cockpit. So moving on from that, not so much of a custom guy. I just got this guy in the ranks because it started with him. This guy evolved from him. I like this guy so much. Well, I wanted to turn this guy into a regular Seeker, which I did. But I like the turquoise so much that I got another one. And now I'm going to try to turquoise the long missiles. I got to get some more long missiles. And you got to start with a Starscream because I just fired that with a Starscream base because it's a lighter plastic and it's easier to dye. But anyway, I'm going to get some missiles and some launchers and get this guy some turquoise missiles and launchers and see how that work out. Like I said, I'm still working on it, but this is basically just a G2 Ramjet, and I got mismatched missiles. I think one of them is Starscream and one of them is his, whatever, or vice versa. But yeah, but he just adds a little bit of flavor to my Secret Jet army, the reinforcements from Cybertron. And this guy right here, actually, this is a kit bash. I didn't dye anything on this guy. This was my first guy. I remember getting the reissue Starscream where he was charred and burnt, and that thing was going up in price. And one day I needed a few dollars, and I wound up selling it. And then I bought a Skywarp complete for like 20 bucks. It was a reissue Skywarp, and then I wound up swapping out parts from guys, from one guy to another. I think thrust launchers, Skywarp's missiles, Thundercracker's fists, want to say Ramjet's chest. I didn't paint anything. I can't remember whose cockpit this is. I can't remember. It was like Thruster Dirge cockpit, something like that. And again, Thundercracker black parts in here, and Skyward parts down here, and Thundercracker's feet right here. So it's like 3 seekers in one to get this guy. And I was gonna paint the chest yellow, cause I requested yellow sticker sheets from, at the time, Repo Labels, now Toy Hacks, and I kind of got this like goldish yellow, like a metallic-y. This kind of wasn't what I was going for. I was going to paint the chest yellow and name him Sting and maybe put some Hornet logos on this guy, but I never did that. Then I decided I wanted to go just all black and request some black stickers for this guy, and his name is now, it's Shadowflight now. And the eye stickers fell off this guy. Eye stickers fall off really easy, but I still, even though this is like a kit bash and not a true dye job, I still think he's pretty sweet. So and like I said, he went through a few changes too. I tried to put the white parts on him at one point, but I think I'm going to go just with the all black. But anyway, I'm going to get these guys all transformed and come right back. Okay, here are the reinforcements in jet mode, and give you a quick pan across these guys. Then take a look at each one individually. Alright, the first jet I'm going to look at is Sunstorm again, because it's nothing new. This is a straight reissue. I didn't do anything to this guy, but just add him to the group to make it pop a little bit more. He's mostly like an orange plastic, like I said, a starburst orange. And he looks pretty cool. So get this guy out of here and move on. Next up is the original Gangster, the first guy I tried to do in a green. And again, it didn't come out good the way I wanted it to, but it inspired me to keep going, keep trying. You can see where, again, I say, if you don't clean the plastic completely when you try to dye it, the dye gets into the dirt, and the dirt kind of blends into the plastic. Then I got the green label sheets or whatever, and kind of helped this guy pop. And you can see what Starscream, this was a Starscream jet, and here he is next to a Starscream, and I just kind of kept the blue, and I figured the blue kind of took some of the green dye, and I kind of left it like that because this is how it started. Oh, dropping everything. This is how it started, and this is how it came out. So I thought that was pretty cool, but I was using the wrong type of dye. All right, and I just want to say, once you dye a figure, you're not stuck. You can always go darker. I kind of want to go and get this thing more green with a better kind of dye. But I just don't want to lose the stickers, the Repro stickers that I got a long time ago. I don't even know if they still do customs. They got so much business now. It was a time where they were like hunting for customers, but now they got so much business. Every time they drop a toy, these guys make a sticker sheet for it. So I don't even know if I can still get some custom stickers. And I kind of wanted to keep the green, but if I can get me some more custom green Seeker stickers, I will definitely try to go a little bit darker on this guy, a little bit better green with this guy. Now for my Acid Storm, and he's a few greens going on, mostly because I remember I broke off one of these because I still had one because I wanted to compare the colors. This is the wing color. Now this is a better dye, so it just took better, and it came from the G2 Starscream. This green started off as this gray right here. And the whole G2 Starscream, like these Rudders, these are the same Rudders for this guy. And again, I got it to go green. But then I broke one of these things because they are fragile, like or brittle. Once you turn them in a little socket, they eventually break off. And you'll notice that if you go looking for a G2 Starscream, if you ever look for a G2 Starscream, one of these are always pretty much broken off. So I dyed the new ones with a better process, and I got a different color. So now I got like this hodgepodge of different multiple colors. And again, you can really see on this one where I didn't clean it up, because at first I was just trying. I was like, let me see if I can do it, and I didn't take it that serious. But now that I've learned more and came a ways, now I kind of want to redo it all. And again, same issue with this one. I love the green stickers, kind of want to hold on to the green stickers. It kind of what makes it look unique. And the separate launchers where I switched it over from one to the other. I might try to repaint the chest a different green. Maybe see if because some of these are peeling. So I might be able to peel these off and re-stick them. I don't know. But this is my Acid Storm. What do you think? And again, I switched out the cockpit to kind of help it pop. Next up is Burn Back, and he was a straight up, I just died a Sunstorm. And that is it. Just died a Sunstorm. Swapped his parts out. I took off the little rubber nose cone so it didn't die. You can dye it if you wanted to, though. You can do that. And I painted the chest white. I stripped the chest and painted it white. So that much is obvious. And I had to cover the stickers. These stickers I painted on, which kind of sucks because it kind of limits. If you used a Sunstorm, it kind of limits what you can do. You have to turn stickers the same way, put them in the same place. And then, like, again, right here, you can see where the factory stripe is under there, and I had to add an extra piece of sticker from a Thundercracker sticker sheet because it just continued on to the edge. I mean, maybe if you didn't know, if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't know, but here it is. Here is my Burn Back. I actually like the way this guy came out. Could have been better. This is once I started learning more, but it could have been better. And then, and if you're not careful, you can see like it started to split right here. You'll burn the plastic. So you don't want to burn the plastic. You got to be careful. You got to go from the hot water to the cold, the hot water to the cold, hot water to the cold, and it helps the dye set in. Again, if enough people are interested, I'll try to do a tutorial on how to dye your Transformers or any action figure. It works with all action figures, but you got to go from a lighter to a darker. Yeah, that's kind of how it works. But Burn Back. Next up is my favorite Rain. I just loved how the purple came out, especially on the wings. Like this was a Ramjet G2 body. I didn't have to do anything to that. I could have dyed it to make it kind of blend in, but I kind of wanted to keep the different purples going on to kind of make it just, you know, so when you see it, you know it's a custom and you know I did it. And with the launchers, I could have went a little bit darker. I tried to make those stand out. I think I kind of regret not dyeing the Skywarp purple parts and getting them a little bit darker to blend in a little bit better. I tried to go with something special, and I don't think I pulled that off too great. You can really see it underneath, inside the arms. I kind of should have got that out of there. But I like the little purple I added for the chest. Lilac or whatever color that is. I don't know. And a lot of my stickers, these are, I think, these are like just some, I don't even think these repro labels. These are reissue stickers that are starting to peel some extra reissues. And this is why it pays. If you see a junk lot with some good parts, man, well, buy those parts. Buy those junk lots with those parts, and you can like get you a custom eventually. Low price, buy 4 or 5 custom lots, and you got kit bashing for days. And again, this is my, I don't know why I got this Decepticon logo turned that way, but this is my Rain Decepticon jet. This is my favorite one. Alright, Thunderstorm is next. This is just a kit bash. I don't know if I told you. I've given personalities to all my figures. I don't think I talked about it. They all got powers or whatever. You know, like Skywarp can teleport. Like Rain literally makes it rain or whatever. But anyway, Thunderstorm right here. Just added some parts from Sunstorm. I painted the chest white. Again, all the white parts come from Sunstorm, just to give him a little yin to yang to Thundercracker from that season 1 background jets. Not a whole lot special here. And of course I switched out the cockpit from the amber to this one to help him differentiate him from Thundercracker just a little bit more. Next up is just straight up G2 Ramjet. He has the dyed short missiles on him, which came out great. And it's hard to get the Starscream long missiles. Cost money. You got to wait and be patient and find somebody who's just getting rid of some toys and not one of these guys like Wheeljack Lab or somebody like that on eBay that knows the true value and like got like $35 on a missile. So I waited, got some, and I tested it out. It worked, so now I'm going to do some long. I'm going to do some launchers, too. I do want to change this guy to just some Skywarp wings and, what is it, Thundercracker rudder like this, and just make him into a fully G1 Seeker and kind of hold on to the little bit of the turquoise parts I have and hopefully get him some customized sticker sheets. So here is, and I don't even have a name for this guy. I mean, obviously he's a Ramjet. It's like plaster right there, but not my G1 continuity. I don't even know, man. If anybody got any suggestions, give me a name for this guy. A G1 continuity name other than Ramjet's cousin. Next up is yet another kit bash. But I do have a name for this guy. This guy is Shadowflight. And I do eventually want to go with some like dark gray or all black sticker sheet, you know, with only like the silver showing out on it. And again, he was going to be Sting. And I was going to paint the chest yellow, but the gold stickers didn't come from Repo Labels like I wanted or whatever. And I kind of went with it just to check it out. So here he is. And he's back. This is a Thundercracker. Mostly Skywarp Thundercracker with some thrust parts to give me the all black deco on this guy. I think some of the sticker sheet, like in here, I don't know if that's Skywarp or thrust or whatever, but here this guy going. I think he looks great. Looks cool. The last one I have, and I haven't named this guy. I think my son tried to name him one time, and he's still a work in progress. I still got to dye the wings or whatever. I might go over these, get this a little bit more red. And these are tail friends from a G2 Starscream, the gray. These wings were the same gray, and I got them to go red. And again, I hate to keep repeating it, but it lets you know you can go from one color to a darker color. I mean, a lighter color to a darker color to achieve the color you want. You can make this. You could go with blue. You could turn this purple. You could turn it to a green. You can even go with a yellow. I think that's going to be my next attempt. I'm going to try to do a yellow one. And plus, I got to correct the other guys, some little work they need. These are from a Sunstorm. The nose cone is from a Sunstorm. And I got parts falling off everywhere. There it is. Landing gear. This is from, I think, a Stars, a KO of the original G1 Transformers that had like white landing gear. I saw it, got this for $10 off eBay one day. I'm like, it's perfect. It's going right on my custom guy with the white landing gear. And I dyed the cockpit. I was dyeing one of the figures by accident. That's how I learned you could dye the cockpit. I was too lazy to strip it down, take it completely apart, and I wound up with the red dye, but it works perfectly on this figure. Bam, there it is. I have an extra one because I was lazy a couple times. And I think it's going to look very cool once I finish dyeing the rest of the wings. So please tell me what you think. What's your favorite one? Do you like any of these? Do you like the ideal of dyeing these versus the ideal of painting? And then you can see like the little nubs from the G2 figure. If I'm getting it in. Little nubs from the G2 figure where the sound box would go right there. And I got to get that Starscream off of there. Like I said, I haven't finished these guys. These guys need a little bit more work, a little bit more tweaking, and maybe some more stickers. I would love to get a white Starscream sticker sheet stripe right there to go on this guy to make it pop a little bit more. So there he is. Alright, got everybody back into the robot modes, and I want to say that making these figures, dyeing these figures is not without trial and error. I've ruined some pretty good figures, but I've got them at good prices. I wait till I get a really low price. I patch these guys together to make a figure and get what I want. I just don't grab a $100 Starscream or something like that and go to work on it. And if you got pieces and parts around the house or in your collection, you can pull from that. You can attempt to dye. You can just take a random piece of plastic and dye it and see how it comes out, just to give yourself a little bit of experience dyeing the plastic. And you don't have to limit it to Seekers. You can dye pretty much any figure in your toy collection, as long as you're going from a lighter color to a darker color. That figure's wearing like a light gray or a light blue or a light green. You can change it up. You can turn it from green to red or whatever, or brown. Do it to pretty much any figure. I haven't gone beyond Transformers, but I've seen it done on Marvel Legends, and it looks really cool. It actually is better on Marvel Legends because you don't have to take apart all the different pieces or whatever. If you would like to see any of these figures expanded upon, or the actual dyeing process itself, you can let me know in the comments below. Talk to me, and I'll try to put something together. Like I say, just want to talk about any one figure in particular, or what I did with it, how I came out. Just let me know, because I've done these dye jobs is not without trial and error. I want to show you a couple trials and error. This is the case of having the wrong dye, and this is the case of overdoing it, where the dye started to eat through the plastic, and it looked like it scratched up, but the dye and the heat actually did that. And again, these are two different types of wings with two different types of dyes, and this was working perfectly, but I didn't pay attention and I let it get too hot. So it's a little bit of trial and error. And then if you don't find your Seeker Jets that you want to try to dye, or any Transformer or any toy for that matter at a cheap price, you run the risk of ruining your toy and throwing away some perfectly good money. And here's another attempt at a red. And again, this was coming out just fine, but I let it overheat. And these aren't scratches. This is like the heat and the dye eating through it. It looks like scratches, came out like scratches, but it's not scratches. But I almost had this one perfect as my one of my first red attempts. But that's all I got for you. Let me know which one is your favorite. Do you like these? Did you like the review? Talk to me in the comments below. And if you want to see any of these guys just expanded upon just one figure at a time, you can also let me know that as well. Thank you for watching another episode of George Reviews, the reviews where every toy has a story.